This is certainly heritage status. Our Pinus Pinea, a true giant in the landscape, stands in an urban yard. This tree is perhaps close to 100 years old and has performed beautifully on site. Even though it's very close to a building, the tree and the building have coexisted quite well over this many years. It is very strong and quite healthy actually. But we have the migration of soil out from the root crown due to the blowers. Rakes and blowers have taken soil away. Now we have a lot of surface roots exposed. We want to correct that by simply applying soil back onto the surface again. In inspecting this old-timer, we've found a few defects we'd like to clean up at the root crown here. We have a girdling root which is broken right here. There's no point to keep this anymore. We're going to excise this out of the tree's root system. We have this dramatic up-pointing root here coming out of the ground. We can clean this back to the compound right here and treat that wound. We've got this broken one here also right at the surface, a good 6 inches above grade. We're going to clean this up back to the compound. We're going to leave this root, it is intact. So when we cover this root system with soil, we're going to recover generally this area under soil to get these roots out of the sky, out of the air, and safely below grade. Some of this does represent a trip hazard as well as being a problem for the tree's biology. We don't want these roots all coming to the surface like this. Not only is the tree swelling and bulging up to the surface, but the blower has in stages removed layers of soil from the root crown, exposing all of these surface roots. Also revealing to us some defects in the root system that we can correct while they're uncovered. We're going to recut, we're going to treat the end grains of these wounds, and then we're going to cover this in soil. Fortunately, we do not have that much noticeable root injury. Just the exposure of roots is our main issue here. We wouldn't want this soil mining to continue and have more and more of the tree's root crown zone exposed to the air. This also, as I said, does represent a trip hazard. This is a serious hazard to walk through a landscape that has all these roots on the surface. We've cut and pruned out the damaged roots as we found them and treated the end grain. So now we're just going to apply soil to this area and get these roots underground where they belong. I'd like to do a little bit at a time. I want to get them just under the ground. We're not going to try to cover everything way up. We just want to get these roots safely out of harm's way. Now I kind of like to smooth as I go, so I'm not creating any, really deep areas. Our aim is just to get them underground. It's well known that PVC is made brittle by sunlight. So we always want to keep our plumbing, any plumbing in the landscape, if it's PVC, we want it out of the sunlight. So we're just going to, at the same time of covering these roots, we're going to go and cover up some of these exposed pipes, just even a little bit, just to get them out of the sunlight. We'll protect the PVC from UV degrading and preserve the irrigation system much longer in the landscape. We have accomplished our objective. We've brought in about 25-gallon buckets of soil and covered our exposed root system. Hopefully our soil application will last a long time. With some special instructions to the mow and blow gardeners, maybe we can keep them from blowing so hard here at the root crown and migrating the soil away. It took 25-gallon buckets to cover this area right here. So we're talking 1,000 pounds of soil to cover this exposed area. So this should last a while.